guys, welcome back to my channel, or hello if you're new. First of all, I am a little bit sick, so I have a pretty nasally voice right now, but I've been meaning to film this video for the last 6 months. I have tried a couple of times and it just hasn't really worked out as I wanted it to, but I feel good about this time. I think that, especially in the mind frame that I'm in right now, I'm ready to talk about it, so let's talk about it. Obviously, this video is going to be about kind of like where have I been for the last 8 months, what my life has been looking like, changes I've gone through, and I'm really excited to share it with you guys. I have had pretty much the entire year of 2021 has been the absolute worst times of my life and the best times of my life, and I'm thankful for all of it. But I'm just really excited to like share with you guys what I've been doing, where I've been, and kind of what my life looks like right now, because I have a completely different life from the last time that I sat here and recorded. So I'm super excited to share it with you guys, and with all that being said, let's get into it. So I by no means want this video to be sad, but to just rip the band-aid right off. The reason that I fell off of YouTube in the first place was because I went through a breakup. So the last time you guys saw me, I was in a very committed 4-year relationship. We were renovating our house, we had a dog together, and that relationship ended. So that was the beginning of April, so right after I posted my last YouTube video. And to be honest, it just kind of spiraled out of control there. Obviously, like going through a breakup, like I had to move out, and I also lost my dog in the breakup, which weighed on me very heavily. But you know, I made it through, so I don't want to make it sound too sad, but I did go through some pretty dark times. I moved in with my mom and lived with her for a couple of months while I looked for a place to stay, and then I just kind of needed a break from that, so I ended up moving in with my dad for the last month before I moved into the house that I moved into. And I'll just be honest, like it was a really dark time in my life. I thought that I knew how my life was going to play out, obviously, and to go through that like complete whirlwind, it was my choice, but it was like, it wasn't my choice, like I felt like I needed to do what I needed to do. So that was really rough for me, but once I moved into my new house, which was in my hometown, it was right down the road from my mom's, I felt so much better. I felt more like in a routine. I think I had already told you guys before I hopped off YouTube that I had just bought a new car and I had just started at the coffee stand working, and so things were starting to look up at that point. And honestly, if it wasn't for the friends that I had met there at the coffee stand, I really don't know where I would be today. They were everything to me. So one of my very best friends that I actually went to high school with, but we weren't really super close in high school. We had a couple classes together. Her name is Daphne, and she worked at the same coffee stand but at a different location. And her and I just became really good friends. She is the sweetest person I've ever met. And we decided that for the summer, instead of having a single girl summer, because she's in a very committed relationship, we were gonna have an adventure girl summer. We were gonna go do a bunch of things and knock things off our bucket list and just have fun. So that is literally what we did. We had so much fun this summer. We started out by going kayaking, and then we did a sunrise hike on Rattlesnake Ledge. That was absolutely beautiful. To this day, I don't think that any adventure has given me chills the way that one has. That one was so much fun. And then we went ziplining in Oregon, and that was super fun. And we just like had all these adventures. It was so much fun, and it literally was the best summer of my life because of that. Like, Daphne really is a real one. Also this summer, right after I moved into my new house at the time, I had my YouTube friends, my social media friends, Lauren and Lizzie, come visit me when I first moved into the house. They came down just for the weekend, but it was so much fun. So Lizzie lives in Georgia and Lauren lives in Oregon, and so they traveled up to come see me for the weekend, and I am so grateful for them because we have the best relationship, and obviously all being on social media, we really bond over that. But for them to literally drop what they were doing for the entire weekend to come see me, for them to just like leave their lives to come hang out with me for the weekend when they just knew that I was going through it, was literally probably the kindest thing anyone's ever done for me. And it was so nice to have them like here with me. And anyways, it was super fun. So that was a blast, one of the highlights of my summer. And then I decided, because my house was a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, and it had like a shop and a garage and a huge yard. And living there by myself was not only expensive, but it was pretty lonely too. So I decided to have a roommate, and really long story short, it did not work out. I don't know if I'm just not meant to have a roommate or if it was just the wrong roommate, but I pretty much just decided that having a roommate wasn't for me. But before I get ahead of myself, while I did have a roommate, I ended up getting a dog. And I think if you guys remember me from in the past when I had Copper, my golden retriever, I just love being a dog mom. I love dogs so much. Like, I don't know what we did in this world to deserve dogs, but I knew I needed to be a dog mom again. So I bought a little chocolate lab, and his name's Benny. And he has been so much fun. Like, he literally is one of my best friends. But so then I think the next like event to share with you is that it ended up not working out with my roommate. And really, really long story short, I just feel like I'm not really meant to have a roommate. I'm a very independent person, and I like my space and I like my alone time. And so when I don't have time to like sit by myself and process and kind of be by myself, I tend to just get like, not really anxiety, but just feel like this overwhelmed feeling. It's probably the introvert in me. I don't really know what it is about me, but I started to feel just a little bit claustrophobic, and I just didn't do well, to be honest. Like, I don't know. Anyways, I don't want to talk about that too much, but anyways, it ended up not working out with my roommate, and my roommate was also somebody that I worked with, and so I decided to leave my job as well. I stayed at my mom's for a couple of days while I was waiting for her to like move out, and my mom invited me on a trip with her. So she had been planning this trip for like 8 months, and she had been so excited for it, but she was gonna go by herself, and I was a little bit nervous about that just because I don't think that women should travel alone. I feel like that's really dangerous. But anyways, I was staying at her house, and she surprised me with a plane ticket to go with her, and everything else was paid for. So we went to Joshua Tree, and that trip turned my whole life around, to be honest. So not only was it just keeping with like my current lifestyle of wanting to adventure and travel and do all of that, but I got to go with my mom, which was so special. But Joshua Tree is beautiful. It is in the desert, and I love the desert, but I strictly like to just visit the desert because it gets really hot, and I like where I live, which is very green, and it rains a lot, and there's no extreme temperatures. The main point of the trip was to go for the harvest moon. So it was just a full moon, and there's all sorts of like spiritual and vibrational things that go with it. I won't talk your ear off because I will go on forever. But my mom and I went on a midnight horse ride where we watched the harvest moon rise, and it was breathtaking. I mean, other than my sunrise hike, it was probably the most, I don't know, it just hit me right in my soul, you know? It was exactly what I needed. So we had so much fun in Joshua Tree, and then when I got home, my mom and I talked about how I couldn't really afford to stay in that house by myself because, like I said, it was really expensive, and it was pretty big, and it was, you know, too big for just Ben and I. So we talked about me moving into her rental property. So here in my hometown, she had a 1-bedroom, 1-bath that had a renter in it at the moment, and she was like, it'd be really cool if you could move into that. You know, she didn't want to kick out her tenant because that's really unfortunate, especially with COVID and everything else going on. But she's like, it'd be really cool if you could move in there. So I started talking about just like living in my house for a couple of months while I tried to find a smaller house. And then literally like clockwork? No. And then literally, I'm like speechless about this still. Her tenant texted her and was like, hey, I'm gonna be moved out by the end of the month. So that literally gave me 2 weeks to notify my tenant or my landlord that I would be vacating and moving into my mom's house. So it literally worked out perfect. It was obviously meant to be. And so that's actually where I'm at right now. So I just moved into my new house, but sorry, before that, I went to go visit Lizzie. So the same 2 friends that I met on social media that came and visited me, we decided that we would go down to Georgia and meet Lizzie, meet her family, and be in her hometown and do all of that. So that was so much fun. And you know, I had been through a lot since the last time that I had seen Lizzie and Lauren, and just being with them just reminded me that like I have such good friends that support me and are behind me, even though they're not with me every single day. And it was so nice. And on top of that, we had so much laugh and so much laugh. We had so much laughter and so much fun being together, and it was incredible. So I'm super blessed to have Lizzie and Lauren. And if you guys are watching this, I love you guys. Thank you so much. But anyways, so then I came home and I moved into my new house, and that is where I'm at now. So that is pretty much in a nutshell what my life has looked like in the last 8 months. Like I said, there has been some high highs and some low lows, but I am super grateful for everything, and I am super, super happy right now. I think I'm like in the happiest mind frame that I have been in since before my breakup, and I don't know, I feel really good. I feel really good. This house is where I was meant to be. I am super happy to be here with dog Benny. Oh my god. Okay, that was the scariest moment I've ever had in my life. I just looked down and this freaking yellow jacket is climbing on me. Obviously it's injured or something because it's not flying. But I just looked down and it was literally crawling on me. So I'm gonna go release it into the wild again. Anyways, now that I'm traumatized and ruined my entire setup, I think I'm gonna end the video here. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'm super happy to be back on YouTube. I am super grateful that you guys are understanding. And I know that 8 months is a long time, but I am back. I'm super excited to start filming again. I obviously will have quite the different content, but I hope you guys still like it. If you have any questions, suggestions, video ideas, anything, please leave them in the comments down below. And with all that being said, I'll see you guys next time.